The night shift was usually quiet, but that evening the building felt different. Old lights flickered, and the elevator doors groaned like they were tired of carrying secrets. Daniel, a single dad and janitor, was mopping the marble floor when he heard a sharp metallic scream from the elevator shaft. He froze. Years of working there had taught him which sounds were normal and which were warnings. This wasn't normal. He dropped the mop and ran toward the elevator just as a well-dressed woman stepped out of the hallway, heading straight for it. "Don't enter the elevator!" Daniel shouted, his voice echoing across the lobby. The woman stopped, startled, clearly annoyed. She glanced at his uniform, then at the elevator, her brows tightening as if she didn't appreciate being ordered around by a janitor. "I'm late!" she snapped. "Move!" But before she could press the button, the cable snapped inside the shaft. The elevator crashed down with a thunderous boom, sparks flying as alarms screamed into the night. Silence followed. The woman's face drained of color. If she had stepped in just seconds earlier, she would have been inside. Daniel stood there breathing hard, his heart pounding, while security rushed in and chaos erupted around them. She didn't say thank you that night. She barely looked at him. After statements were taken, Daniel quietly returned to his mop. He had to hurry. His daughter Lily would be waiting at home, probably asleep on the couch again. Daniel's life was a careful routine. Wake early, pack Lily's lunch, drop her at school, work 2 shifts, then come home exhausted but smiling. Since his wife passed away, Lily was his whole world. Every sacrifice felt worth it when she hugged him. The next morning, Daniel was fixing Lily's shoelace when there was a knock on the door. He wasn't expecting anyone. Their small house rarely saw visitors. Lily peeked from behind him as Daniel opened the door. The woman from the building stood there, dressed simply now, holding a paper bag and looking nervous. "I hope I have the right house," she said softly. "My name is Evelyn." Daniel was speechless. He nodded slowly, unsure why someone like her would be standing on his porch in the early morning light. "I couldn't stop thinking about last night," Evelyn continued. "I didn't even thank you. You saved my life." Her voice cracked slightly. "I asked around until I found you." She handed him the bag. Inside were pastries and a small stuffed bear. Lily's eyes lit up instantly. "For your daughter," Evelyn said with a gentle smile. Daniel invited her in, still confused. Their home was modest. Old furniture, family photos, crayon drawings on the fridge. Evelyn took it all in quietly, her expression shifting from curiosity to something deeper. "My father died in an elevator accident when I was a teenager," she said suddenly. "Last night brought everything back. If you hadn't yelled—" She stopped, swallowing hard. Daniel listened, realizing for the first time that beneath her confidence was someone carrying old pain, just like him. Lily climbed onto the couch beside Evelyn, hugging the bear. "Are you rich?" Lily asked innocently. Daniel nearly choked. Evelyn laughed, a real laugh this time. "A little," she admitted, "but not the important kind, I think." Before leaving, Evelyn asked Daniel about his life, his work, Lily, the long hours. She nodded thoughtfully, then said, "I'd like to help. Not with charity, with opportunity." Weeks passed. Daniel thought little of it until his supervisor called him into the office. The building management was changing, new safety protocols, new leadership. And then he saw her. Evelyn stood at the front of the room. She wasn't just a tenant, she was the owner. The entire property belonged to her family's company. Gasps rippled through the staff. She spoke about safety, dignity, and respect. Then she looked directly at Daniel. One employee showed exceptional awareness and courage, someone who didn't ignore danger. She paused. "Daniel, please come forward." His hands shook as he did. Evelyn offered him a new position, facilities supervisor, training staff on safety, with better hours and pay. "Because character should be rewarded," she said firmly. That evening, Daniel came home early for the first time in years. Lily ran to the door, confused and excited. You're home before dark." He smiled, lifting her up. "Looks like things are changing." Months later, the elevator was replaced, the building safer than ever. Daniel walked the halls with pride now, not because of his title, but because his voice had mattered. Sometimes Evelyn would visit. Sometimes they'd talk over coffee, not as owner and employee, but as people who understood loss, responsibility, and second chances. And every night as Daniel tucked Lily into bed, he remembered that one moment, one shout, that changed everything. Not just for him, but for everyone who learned that day that even the quietest voices can save lives.